Everything is out of
control. Hi there, I'm Julie, and I'm going to talk to you guys a bit about control today. I'm down here at Nutrition LKN, just waiting for you to show up. Just kidding. I'm hiding in my little tent/office, and I would love to have, as I said, a conversation about being out of control. How many of you have felt like you just were not in charge of your world, your life at some point? Maybe it's when you were a kid, maybe it's still happening today, maybe it kind of goes intermittently. Sometimes you feel like you're good and you got to hold on things, and other times not at all. So, what does the average person do when they feel out of control? Some of us maybe eat, some of us maybe have a drink, maybe go for a walk, call a friend. All of these things are coping mechanisms. Some of them innocent and not a big deal, some of them a little detrimental. But what I want to talk to you guys today about is eating disorders. Now, when we say eating disorders, the average person thinks of anorexia, bulimia. Those are kind of the two big ones. Even, gluttony and overeating. But the fact is that there's many different eating disorders or disordered eating out there. Sometimes it looks like somebody that will only eat one type of food. Sometimes it's not even food that they eat. They're actually participating in eating things that are not actually food. I'm sure you've heard of people eating glue and things like that they know they're not supposed to eat, but they're compelled to eat it. Anyways, these are all coping mechanisms and addictions of sort. Where do these things come from? Well, more often than not, they come from feeling out of control. So there are many things that will have us feeling out of control, and sometimes that is a huge trauma in our lives, and sometimes it's just little things, constant little things. So I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple different ways that eating disorders can be formed. Now, why am I talking about this? Because at Nutrition LKN, it is our job to help people feed their bodies appropriately. And occasionally we do come up with clients that have an eating disorder. And it is a very sensitive topic, but one that I, for one, thoroughly enjoy digging into because I have studied eating disorders. I had eating disorders when I was younger, and I also took specific courses in my therapy, my private practice, to support people with eating disorders. So, back to the video of today. A couple things that can actually cause that are super innocent, and it's not meant to be detrimental, but these are things that can, as I said, over time, promote an eating disorder. One of them is too rigid of parenting around food time. So, if you are super rigid about how your child eats, what your child eats, when your child eats, and there's a lot of arguments around it, and there's a lot of frustration in the household because you were raised that you clean your plate, or you were raised that this is how it happens, or that's just how you want it to exist in your home. The fact is that this is another human being you're talking to, and you don't get to 100% decide what this person ingests and what they don't. So as soon as a child is able, if you are one of those parents that is enforcing things to that strict amount, the child will, as soon as they are physically able, start taking their control back in the respect of, I'm not going to eat that, you cannot force me to eat that. And it can spiral into, as I said, it can spiral into bulimia, anorexia, even just disordered eating, which I say just, but let me tell you, somebody that is sustaining life on one food item or one food group, it's not healthy. And even if you think, well, they're growing up and they're, not ill at this point, it will affect them long term. So that's case number one, where you've got that parent that is just too strict and demanding around food time. That can go very badly. Now, believe it or not, the exact opposite is also true. So if you have no rules whatsoever and no guidance around food, a child doesn't actually learn how to appropriately feed themselves. So what happens is they actually develop their own rules, and they adhere to those rules because children need rules. Children feel safe when they've got some boundaries around them. It doesn't have to be strict. You don't have to, get all crazy with your rules, but they do need rules. They do need boundaries to allow them to feel safe. So if they don't have any, they make up their own. And children are not capable of making good decisions around most things, honestly. Like, I'm sorry, children are lovely little creatures, and they're intelligent, and they have their own form of amazing maturity, which is not usually maturity, but it's another topic for another day. They just cannot make those good decisions on their own. So the parent that's out there saying, at least they're eating, and they're only eating one food every single day, that's not a good, it's not good leadership. And I know, I should have said trigger warning. There's almost always a trigger warning on my videos, though, just so that you know. Another one came up as I was talking, and now it just kind of flittered away. So, end of the day, here's the reason why I brought this up. Because often parents will talk to me and they'll be like, so my child, fill in the blank, won't eat, will eat, only eats, yada, yada, yada. But I've been really forcing them to do the opposite. And the fact is, a lack of control, whether it's because everything was too controlled or not controlled enough, a lack of control is what gets us into the eating disorder plane almost exclusively. So by trying to fight with control with your child is not helpful either. You actually have to have conversations with your child. And those conversations are they're often not going to go well. You have to be able to have that conversation where your child might not like you very much, where your child might get very angry. And honestly, you might get angry too. You're the adult, so you cannot fully express that anger, but you can say, hey, I'm just scared, because that's really where anger comes from, isn't it? You're scared. So tell them that. Tell them that you are just worried. Tell them, don't say, do it because I said so. Anyway, that's my little spiel on control. Too much or too little. Neither way is going to be beneficial to the child. So, hopefully that was helpful to some of you out there. If you have any questions, concerns, cries about Reg, you can always reach out to me. And you can always find me at Nutrition LKN. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.